Hello, and welcome to today's story. In this episode, we explore the heartbreaking case of Sheila Fox, a 6-year-old girl who disappeared under mysterious circumstances on August 18, 1944. Despite extensive searches and various leads over the years, her fate remains unknown. This video discusses the disappearance of a minor and related investigative efforts. Viewer discretion is advised. All details are based on historical records, law enforcement reports, and reliable news outlets. Individuals mentioned in this video are presumed innocent unless proven otherwise in a court of law. Who was Sheila Fox? Born around 1938, Sheila Fox was the daughter of a working-class family living in Farnworth, a town near Bolton in Lancashire, England. Farnworth, like much of England at the time, was navigating the latter years of World War II, meaning the community often experienced rationing, air raid sirens, and other wartime routines. Sheila was described by locals as a bright, cheerful child. Specific details about Sheila's parents and siblings are limited, but historical accounts suggest she lived in a modest household. The Fox family, like many in that era, was close-knit, sharing tight bonds with neighbors who were also coping with the pressures of war. Sheila attended St. James's Church School in Farnworth, as reported by several news archives. At 6 years old, she was learning basic reading, writing, and arithmetic typical for her grade level. Despite the wartime environment, daily life continued as normally as possible, with children often walking to and from school unaccompanied, especially in smaller communities where people felt relatively safe. August 18, 1944. On this fateful Friday, Sheila attended school as usual. Classes reportedly ended around 4 p.m. After dismissal, she was expected to head straight home. Witnesses recall her leaving school grounds on her own. Several of Sheila's classmates later told authorities they saw her speaking to her, possibly walking away with a man. At the time, it was not unusual for children to converse with adults in the neighborhood, so no immediate alarm was raised. When Sheila did not return home at her usual time, her family grew worried. The Fox family and neighbors began searching nearby streets, alleys, and common gathering spots. As evening set in and Sheila remained missing, the family contacted the local police. Officers from the Farnworth police and surrounding areas quickly organized search parties. Neighbors and volunteers helped comb through bomb shelters, empty lots, and rubble from any wartime damage in the area. Despite these prompt efforts, no clear evidence or trace of Sheila was found. Investigators interviewed local residents, hoping someone saw Sheila or recognized the unknown man she might have been talking to. Descriptions varied, and no single witness account proved conclusive. Given that England was still in the midst of World War II, formal investigative resources were stretched, adding further challenges to the case. Due to the era's communication methods and the lack of modern forensic techniques, the investigation struggled to piece together a solid timeline. Police considered various scenarios, including the possibility of an accidental injury, abduction, or other foul play. Ultimately, leads ran cold, and Sheila's disappearance was left with more questions than answers. The most commonly discussed theory is that Sheila was abducted. The man seen talking to her has never been positively identified. Some locals speculated that a stranger, or even a known community member, lured her away under false pretenses. Another less common theory suggests the chaos of the World War II environment could have played a role. Perhaps, she wandered off and faced an accident in an unsecured area. The worry was that rubble or construction sites related to air raid damage might have concealed evidence of a tragic mishap. Decades after her disappearance, there were occasional references to known offenders who lived or worked in the region, leading some to suspect a link to Sheila's case. No formal verifiable connections were ever established, leaving this angle inconclusive. Sheila Fox's story made headlines in local newspapers in the 1940s, and periodic articles appeared in subsequent decades, especially when new tips emerged. Radio and television segments occasionally revisited the case, keeping Sheila's name in the public consciousness. Over the years, law enforcement has revisited Sheila's disappearance multiple times, hoping to apply modern techniques or analyze older evidence with fresh eyes. Despite these renewed investigations, no definitive breakthroughs have surfaced. Farnworth residents still recount Sheila Fox's story as a local tragedy. Many in the older generation remember the searches vividly, reflecting on the community's sense of loss and frustration. Sadly, Sheila Fox was never found. Her official status remains that of a missing person. No remains or physical evidence linked conclusively to Sheila have ever been discovered. Sheila's immediate family members have either passed away or continued their lives without closure. For the Farnworth community, the case stands as a reminder of how quickly and inexplicably a child can vanish, even in a close-knit area. Although decades have passed, cold cases can sometimes be solved through new leads or advanced forensic methods. Public awareness and historical curiosity can potentially unearth information hidden in personal archives, diaries, or conversations within families who lived in the area at the time. Sheila Fox's disappearance remains one of Farnworth's most enduring mysteries, a poignant wartime tale of a small child who never returned home from school. While technology and investigative methods have advanced dramatically since 1944, her case underscores the importance of community vigilance and the long-lasting impact of a single, unsolved missing child case. If you have any historical documents, family anecdotes, or information relevant to Sheila Fox's disappearance, please contact the appropriate local authorities. Keep conversations about cold cases alive. It helps maintain the possibility of uncovering new evidence, even decades later. Honor the memory of Sheila Fox by advocating for child safety and supporting missing person organizations. Thank you for watching and learning about the disappearance of Sheila Fox. If you found this overview informative and wish to see more content about missing persons, cold cases, and unsolved mysteries, please like, share, and subscribe. Spreading awareness is a vital step in keeping these stories alive and one day, potentially, solving them.